March 11th. So I have to get out my my window scraper again. It's -3, but it feels colder. So it's early morning, and of course we moved the clock 1 hour forward, so surprisingly my car's clock also switched automatically. Oh man, you probably cannot even see me because there's no light. But yeah, I usually set up the alarm for 6 o'clock, which gives me just 15 minutes to get to start moving. Wow, I cannot see anything. Oh, that's better. And so the other day, well, Monday, I wake up with the alarm, and it does not feel right. You know, it feels. I'll check this out. Too cold, and it does not feel right. And then I look at the clock on my oven and microwave, and those of course don't reset automatically, and I see it's not 6, it's 5. Holy moly. That's when I remembered about the time change. And yesterday I worked until 4, I think. The last order of the day was the boss asked me to preload. Well, I just brought some scaffolding from a pickup, and usually before I unload, I always go in and I ask him, do I need to unload? Because a couple of times what happened is that I unload and then I go in and he gives me a paperwork, and the pickup is scaffolding again, you know, because they forget to tell us, you know, do not unload. Basically it's the same stuff going out pretty much, you know. And so for example, yesterday I brought 4 big frames, 3 10-footer decks, and 2 braces and 4 casters or wheels, right? And so I go in and I say, you know, do I need to unload? And he looks at the paperwork, he says, no, here's 2 delivery orders. Just fill up the truck, so to speak, with the scaffolding for these 2 delivery orders. And I look at one of them, and it's 4 frames, 3 decks, 2 braces, except no casters. okay, and the other one is exactly the same, 4, 3, 2, 4 frames, 3 decks, 2 plus 2 half frames. And so one brace is big, 10 feet, yellow, and the other brace is slightly shorter, which we call a red, because it's marked with red. And so all I had to do was just add the second order, and I wrote it on the paperwork, preloaded on truck number so and so. Give it to the guy, and I said, that's it. He said, yeah, that's it. And so I went to the nearby retail plaza, got some espresso because I was falling asleep, and sat there for some 15 minutes with Uber and Lyft. Nothing's happening. And then because it's Monday, but because we had snow yesterday, right? We had snow, lots of accidents in the morning, but then everything melted around after lunchtime. But morning was brutal, like I went on, they gave me a very long trip in a pickup truck with a trailer. I was moving a big scissor lift, pretty heavy, and it was a bit spooky, driving with a trailer in slippery conditions. And I went on 201, and it was on the ring road. It was very slow, and every couple of kilometers there were accidents. At one point I saw like 5 or 6 vehicles, together, everything mangled, bumpers on the ground, and there were already cops, working with them. And so yeah, multiple accidents. People spun out, like area like this. A guy would be sitting here because he was trying to brake between the light and or he would be in the middle, but on this island on the curb. It was crazy yesterday. And then boom, everything melted around 1 or 2 because the temperature went above 0. And one guy asked me afterwards, how was it driving with the trailer in the snow? I said it was fine. I said it's just that there were accidents all over the place, but I kept my distance. I knew that it's slippery, so I slowed down gradually. I didn't make any sudden moves, with the steering wheel, so I know the drill. I have a couple of million kilometers behind my back as a trucker, so that helps, I guess. And so yeah, I was sitting at that retail plaza, just thinking that even though it's Monday, I thought maybe because of the snow, usually when in bad weather, demand for Uber and Lyft increases, but there was nothing. But then I look at the airport, and airport is super busy. Like the waiting lot in the airport, it says yeah, it's long, but there's like 8 flights arriving in the next hour. And the Lyft says there was like 11 rides per hour, and there were only 11 people in the line from Lyft. And so I packed my espresso and went to the airport, lined up in the waiting queue, and it took probably 20-25 minutes, and then it was my turn. First they gave me somebody on the other side of the airport, which I know is Air Canada. Oh wow, look at the moon today. Very unusual. Kind of like not exactly full moon, but very weird shape, I don't know if you can see it, but yeah. And so first they gave me a ride. It says pick up 15 minutes away, 7 kilometers. And I know that place. It's like you have to go around the airport, and it's really 15 minutes. So I said cancel. And I thought they would kick me out of the waiting queue, put me back in the beginning, but no, they kept me there. They said 5 people ahead of you, okay. And then they gave me some guy, I think his name was Sean, arrivals international door 15. Oh cool. I thought maybe if it's an American, usually you get a tip. When I go there, a guy shows up with a backpack, And then I say, where are we going? We're going to nearby Chinook Mall. So it's not a hotel, it's a house. So the guy is a Canadian. Shoot. So no tip, of course. But that was, I think I made like 23 bucks. And it was like 22 kilometers. And then I tried to do some, I was playing with the settings in the Uber app, trying to see if how I can get, you know, more deliveries. Because sometimes, you know, they pay good money with tips. And they gave me they offered me a couple of cheap ones. I declined all of them, and then the last one was Lyft offered me to take somebody from downtown where I was sitting back to the airport, but it was 20 kilometers and they were paying $13. And just out of principle I said, screw this, I'm not taking this, because I thought maybe I can find somebody, you know, on the way back. And of course I didn't find anybody, so I just drove back home empty. So I should have taken that Lyft, but it just, you know, it's so cheap. It's just kind of like in trucking, you know, when you don't want to do a cheap load, like some people say, no, you should do a cheap load, otherwise you're just wasting your time. But other people say, just out of principle, you know, you don't want to do anything, let's say back then, less than, I don't know, at least $2 a mile. But here it's 13 Canadian for 20 kilometers, you know, so it's like 50 cents a mile. So yeah, nowadays I don't use Lyft too often because they're so cheap, you know. All right, do we have time for Starbucks? Let's see, 6:27. And there's still a couple of lights. I don't know. I know it's expensive, but this is one of the things I love myself, you know, because I don't know, for some reason I really like to drink something, you know, warm in the morning. And now my truck is gone. My truck is still in the shop, and I left my travel mug in there. So yeah, we're gonna go for Starbucks, go through drive-through, and now I switched to a decaf and just grab a decaf Americano, which is funny, you know. I always joke with them. I said, like, isn't decaf supposed to be free? You know, like there's no caffeine, right? And the girls always laugh, but they say, no, unfortunately not. But, you know, you would think, right, it should be cheaper at least. Kind of like non-alcoholic beer. Why does it cost the same as, like, why does beer with 0.5% alcohol cost the same as beer with 7% alcohol? You know? Just the other day I was telling a guy at the liquor store, I said, you know, back in the day, I said, you probably don't know this because this was before your time, because he's like 20 years old. But I said, back in the Soviet Union, all beer was, I think it was 13%. 13% alcohol. And so, because of that, beer was the most popular drink among alcoholics, because it was cheap and it was so strong. And then the next one after that was port wine, you know, like a fortified sweet wine, which was 20% alcohol. And it was like a bottle of, I don't think we had 750 ml bottles, we only had like half a liter. I think it was like $3, like 3 rubles. So very popular choice among you know, booze hounds.
Hi there, what can I get for you today?
Yeah, morning. Can I please get a tall Americano decaf upside down?
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Perfecto. See you at the window.
Thank you. Morning.
How are you today?
Good, how are you? And that's what my truck looks like inside. I'm in one of our Ford F-350s, and it's still dark, so kind of like cool, right? So I have my service phone up front there, the small iPhone generation, I don't know, minus 2K, and then this thing still has some music, even has a Bluetooth that I always have to fight with, because all our guys that use these trucks, I don't know, they're all crazy about music, and they have some subscriptions on their phones, and so they always use Bluetooth, and then they hook up their phone and they drive and listen to music. Like, I don't understand that, honestly. Like, how can you listen to the same stuff 8 hours a day? So I prefer to listen to radio music, because it's different, and news when I can get them. Actually, yeah, on my phone I have Sirius XM, and this is my luck this morning, that I got to drive the same truck I preloaded yesterday. I don't know, call that luck or what, but at least I did not have to do any heavy lifting in the morning. So I come out of the shop, the truck is already sitting outside idling. They started it, almost ready to go. I just had to clean up the headlights, and the right window was all covered in frost, so I cannot see the mirror, not good. So I cleaned that, cleaned the taillights. My load is there, so two loads of scaffolding. So I'm heading to northwest Calgary. It's about 23 kilometers one way, but both deliveries are on the same street, just two different building numbers, which is great. It's drywall company, and so yeah, each order is exactly the same. So 4 large frames, 3 long decks 10 feet long, 2 half frames, and 1 yellow brace and 1 red brace. So now, because they changed the clock, so now technically, yeah, it says 7 o'clock. Now it's actually like 7:03. Now it's 6:03. So the bastards made us wake up 1 hour early. But the good news is that the sunset now happens later, right? So we have a longer day. So today's Tuesday, so I'm definitely gonna wanna try some Uber after work. So we'll see what happens. So for now, my job is I have only 2 deliveries, no pickups. So I deliver 1 load, drive down the street, deliver the second load, back to base. And unfortunately my flatbed Freightliner is still in the shop. I don't know what's taking them so long, but I think they you know, oil changes doesn't take that long, but it had a leak right in the hydraulic system near the bed, and I think maybe they ordered some parts and they're waiting for parts. Usually that's the cause for a delay, but it's been out almost a week now, and because of that all I drive is either a pickup truck by itself or a pickup truck with a trailer, where I can pick up pretty much load and deliver the same stuff I do with a Freightliner, except the trailer doesn't have a winch. Like yesterday when I delivered this 40, was it 26, 30, 36, like a big scissor lift, pretty heavy, and it was slippery, but to my surprise, after the snowfall overnight, the ramps on the trailer, because they're vertical, you have to bring them down, they're very heavy, but the ramps were dry, they were not covered in snow. And so because the scissor lifts are inside, so all I did was I backed to a bay and I made sure that when I dropped the ramps, that they were on the dry pavement inside the shop. And even then, the wheels, because the ramps are very cold, right, so it's a bit slippery when it's cold, even then the wheels spun a little bit, but the machine was able to go up. But then when I was unloading, when it was halfway down the ramps, it started sliding, you know, and there's nothing I can do because there's no winch. I cannot stop it. And that's, you know, that winch can be super handy in adverse weather conditions. Man, each light I hit is a red light. So I guess I got lucky with the load. I didn't have to load anything in the morning because it was preloaded, but now I'm driving and I get a red light every time. That's karma, I think, right? They call it karma. Or as we say in Russian, вроде зебры, жизнь вроде зебры. Meaning your life is like a stripes on a zebra. It's black and then white, white and then black. Okay, which way I'm going? All right, so I'm taking a...
In 500 meters, use the right lane to take the Bennington Trail route. Use the right lane to take the Bennington Trail route, then take the Bennington Trail route.
Alright, so I'm taking a shortcut here to get to the
Bennington Trail route.
ring road.
Continue on Bennington Trail for 2 kilometers.
Well, turns out my 2 deliveries were not just on the same street, but it's a double townhouse next to each other. Basically new construction, and it took me 9 plus 6, 15 minutes to unload everything. because I have to show the time of arrival and time of departure. So this was not super challenging, and I was able to drive right next to the front, like to the fence, because there's a super wide sidewalk and it's early in the morning, there's no people. So now back to base. And because my Freightliner is still being worked
Turn
on,
right onto Romont Boulevard Northwest.
now I don't have to ask dispatch, you know, big truck or pickup truck, because when I come back, quite often they would switch me, you know, they would switch me from pickup truck to the Freightliner. Then no, you don't need a Freightliner for this, just a pickup truck. But now, since my Freightliner is gone, all the variety is whether it's a single pickup truck or whether it's a pickup truck with a trailer. And that trailer, you know, I'm quite used to it. You know, it's
At
a
the
small
roundabout,
trailer.
Take the first exit onto Nose Hill
But
Drive Northwest.
the ramps, you know, the ramps are vertical and you have to unhook them, and they're pretty heavy. I think like each ramp is at least 70 pounds, because it feels as heavy as my
In about 3.5 kilometers, turn right to merge onto Highway 201 North.
feels as heavy as my 70-pound kettlebell. You know? Oh, and it's already getting light. I can see downtown in the distance, probably 10 kilometers away. And I can see that Sky Hill, whatever it's called, where they have Olympic, we had Olympic Games a bunch of years ago for skiers. And yesterday, one of my deliveries was, you know, they were pretty difficult to deal with at first, but they're not that heavy. Basically, it's a pressure washing machine that runs, I think it runs on diesel. Like, it's a pretty big unit, you know. It has a hose, bunch of small tips, a turbo nozzle. And we have a customer who rents that like probably 2 times a month, and they only use it for, I don't know, half an hour. And then I drive back, and of course I just use a pickup truck, and the tailgate again saves the day. You just put the tailgate all the way down, push that machine, because it doesn't drive by itself. The engine is only used for power washing. So push it on the gate, lift it up, drag it into the bed, put a couple of straps around it. That's it. Yeah, so find the distance. There's downtown, there's the hill where people ski. And so yeah, as you can see, the sky is already light. Darkness is gone, like very fast, because it's really depressing, right, when you drive in the dark. Okay, now I'm just heading towards the ring road. And go back northeast.
In 1 kilometer, turn right to
again? I don't want any more snow because it makes driving conditions real hazardous here. Коксу, Коля, давай!
For about 19 kilometers, continue straight.
Yeah, no, my prediction for the second run was false. Because I just did a load of scaffolding. Normally they don't come one after another, but that's exactly what I got. I showed up back in the shop and hand over my paperwork from the previous run, and my dispatch gives me two deliveries and one pickup.
Exit to Highway 2 North, Deerfoot Trail.
And yeah, just delivered a telehandler. Yeah, yesterday I was doing a recording and all of a sudden my GoPro died. I checked the battery level, it says 50%. And this is probably third or fourth time that it happened, and it's the original battery that I'm using, GoPro 10. I bought this, I looked at my order history on Amazon. I think I bought this camera in 22, and then I got an extra battery 1 year later. So now I switched to that battery. It's also like a genuine GoPro battery, but that original one that came with the camera, for some reason, yeah, started showing signs of fatigue. you know, doesn't want to, even though it's 50%, it shuts down. I don't know. It can also be the SD card. These GoPros, you know, they can be very finicky because that SD card is also 2 years old, and of course I record and then rewrite over. So I think I have an extra card at home, but I'm gonna basically today I'm testing this other battery, see if that issue comes back. If it comes back, then it means that it's the SD card, like micro SD card, that I need to get a new SD card. But yeah, today I'm on a Freightliner. Not mine, but what the other guy usually drives, but because we have only one truck now, mine is still in the shop. My boss in the morning gives me that delivery for the telehandler, and you can do that one with a trailer, but that telehandler is pretty heavy. It looks small, but it's definitely over 10,000 pounds, and that's heavy for this truck because it only has a single axle, right? But that one, so you can do it with a trailer, probably in a pickup truck, but it would be too heavy for the pickup truck. But I asked him, I said, so what do you want me to drive, a pickup truck with a trailer or a Freightliner? He says Freightliner. Okay. So I found that it was low on DEF, so I grabbed a jug of DEF, fill it up, filled it up, and then also the truck was very dirty, so I asked the supervisor in the shop, I said, can I quickly rinse it, you know, with a power washer? Just takes like 5 minutes, and you can see the dirt just kind of like disappears, you know, because of the pressure. So now I'm in a relatively clean truck. This is my second delivery. I have a medium-size scissor lift. So one delivery, one pickup, and I'm going to southeast Calgary. And once I deliver this one, then there's a pickup also in that area. Just delivered the scissor lift. Behind me over there looks like a trucking company, and they're working on the wall outside, because I was surprised. The guy said
at the next light, turn left.
Drop it on the ground. See that building on to my right? And I think they're having some issues because there's a ladder in there, like a staircase. It was in the way. So now I'm driving. Oh, look at this guy. Can he make a wider turn maybe? Wow, he left like, I don't know, 5 meters over there between his trailer wheels and the curb. So now I'm driving only like 7 kilometers to my pickup. You know, this is gonna be interesting because the guy is not there. Oh, check this out. There's an international dealer on my left. Wow, somebody still buys international trucks? I didn't even know they still make them.
At the light, turn left onto 52 Street Southeast.
So yeah, what's gonna be interesting is that the guy is not there. It's a brand new retail plaza, and he says go through the back. There's a lockbox in there. He gave me the code, and you go through the back, and then the machine is there. Then you open the front door, drive it out through the front, and then go back, lock the front door from inside, and then use the lockbox to lock the back door. And normally we don't like doing this, and I've been instructed by my dispatchers that, because you know it's a retail plaza, right? So the doors are pretty narrow, so you don't want to damage anything, and then they'll claim it's our responsibility. Yeah, I know this area. See that huge Canadian flag up front? That's the South Trail Chrysler dealer. That's where I bought my Dodge Durango. This particular dealership, yeah, on the right, it's brand new, pretty big, very nice inside, and the sales guy and the financial lady were super nice. I got a great deal, saved a bunch of money compared to buying from other dealers. There's a Hyundai, there's a Nissan. Yeah, I've been to this area before with this truck as well. They're building a bunch of
At the next light, turn left.
yeah, retail strips in here, like a strip mall. And that's where, yeah, like over there, straight ahead across the lake, that little lake in there. So it's either the first one or the second one, but it's...
At the light, turn left onto Copper Pond PSG. Then take the next left into the parking lot.
Yeah, so these on the left, this is the Copper Pond passage. That's where all the lots of construction is going on there. I just have to find the proper building. They usually have no numbers because it's brand new. Yeah, so I go to the back and I wrote down the code on my hand. Try the code, nothing. The compartment doesn't want to open. You know, I hear the key making sound that inside that lockbox. Kind of like what, you know, what real estate guys use.
In 2 kilometers, turn right onto 52 Street Southeast.
So I hate these. I always have trouble with them. So I couldn't open it. I thought maybe the guy gave me a wrong number, like So I changed one number, still nothing. But then I hear somebody's moving inside. I hear somebody's working inside, even though this guy said he's not on site. But I hear somebody making some noises, you know. So I go to the front. Oh, yeah, of course I left my phone in the truck. Never leave your phone, because you go to the back like 100 meters, right? And then you cannot open the lock. Now you have to call the guy, but your phone is another 100 meters back to the truck. Because there's no you cannot drive in the back. It's very narrow. It's just basically a passageway for people, you know. So I parked on the street in front of that retail plaza. And so I go to the front, try the front door, and it's open. And I see legs of a guy who stands on a ladder working, doing something on the ceiling there. And I said, "Excuse me, sir, I'm here to pick up the scissor lift." And I see our machinery is right there next to the front entrance. And I said, "I'm sorry, I couldn't open the lock." Like I said, I talked to this guy, gave him his name. I said, he gave me the code. And he says, "Yeah, that's the right code. Let's go check it out." We go to the back, he opens the door, and I left the code like that, entered, and he just pulls on the little door and it opens.
At the next light, turn right.
I said, "Wait, what's the trick? What did you do?" He says, "Oh, it's sticky. You just have to pull harder." So I tried to open it like with one finger, but turns out it's very stiff. You know, it's like amazing. Like I'm some kind of a idiot or something, you know. I always have trouble with these lock boxes. But yeah, this one, unless you know that it's sticky, you would not open it, because you know you don't want to break it, right? I pulled on it, the door doesn't want to open, so what am I supposed to do?
At the light, turn right onto 52 Street Southeast.
Basically, if this guy was not there, my plan was to call the guy and double check the code. Maybe I wrote it down, you know, wrong. And if nothing else works, I would have to wait for him, because he's like 30 minutes away somewhere. But I wouldn't be able to open it myself. Alright, so now we are on the main...
about 2 kilometers, turn right onto 114th Avenue Southeast.
So now we are on the main road, heading over to Stony Trail. Just drop off a okay, how's my battery? Oh, battery shows 74%, so far so good. So that black battery, like this is a white, so I remember, so the black one or the blue one is no longer good. So just back to the dock. I ran around like 20 times back and forth because I couldn't get the guy, couldn't find the guy. Oh, I back to door 11. The guy comes out, says, "Ah, this door does not work. Could you please go to the next door?" Like this one, door 10, I think, right? By the time I lifted my support, because I have to put that support in the back, you know, wheel lift, because this was like a very big 40-foot scissor lift, pretty heavy. So I put that down. By the time I lift it up and I'm ready to move, a semi-truck shows up, backs right into that door. I go inside, try to find the guy, the door is locked. Like,
turn right onto 44th Street Southeast.
"What door you want me to go to?" I said, "There's a semi-truck backed right in there where you told me to go. Oh, I'll take the next one. Okay, so I back to the next door and put my wheel lift down again, move the bed close to
At the next stop sign, turn left.
Close to the dock, knock on the door 20 times. There's no buzz or nothing. All right, nobody's opening the door, the bay door. So I go back to the entrance of the freaking warehouse. Finally, I see a buzzer.
Sign, turn left onto 72 Avenue Southeast.
There's a buzzer on the window. I push that buzzer, a guy comes out. Speaks with a Russian accent. Probably a Russian spy, I'm guessing, because it's a warehouse. So finally he opens the door. I said, where shall I park it? Put it there in the corner. So okay. Put it in the corner, go through the door, lift the gate, and that's it. So now I'm on my way to pick up a machine that is a bit more exciting. Boom lift.
At the next light, turn right.
Hybrid boom lift. You know that orange machine we have? It can run on the battery, or it can run on diesel, which is very convenient. If somebody, let's say, works inside the building and they don't want, diesel fumes in there, they just shut it down and they use the electric power. It's awesome machine. Can go pretty high too. It's kind of like a scissor lift, except it's a boom lift, right? There's a boom, so you can go up and down. You stay in that little basket and you can go up and down. Okay, and and my pickup is at this crazy place called Imperial Fuel Depot.
At the light, turn right onto 52 Street Southeast.
And I've been there before, and it's not easy to get to the entrance because the address is on. Oh, look at this. I don't like, everything is tilting on this guy. Look at this. He has these metal parts and they're all shifting. I think he's gonna lose one of them. See how they're tilted?
3.5 kilometers. Turn right onto 106th Avenue Southeast.
Nice trailer. I like flatbeds with wooden floor. I would never buy now a trailer with aluminum floor. Looks brand new. The trailer looks new because the floor cannot be so clean, This is a 53, I think, flatbed with a Tridem axle. Yeah, nice trailer. I love flatbeds. Flatbeds are great. Well, the machine, you can see in the mirror, the machine is on the deck. Unfortunately, it's all covered in signs, so we don't want to deal with that. Privacy issues. So yeah, loaded at this fuel depot. So I put 2 chains in the front, 2 chains in the back, 1 strap over the basket. There's a special, there's a kind of like a joint in there where the basket is hooked up to the boom, so all accessories must be secured. Put it in, and now we have to find our way over there. That's Barlow Trail, but these are not connected over here. I have to go back because this is a dead end. At least they parked it. When I asked the guy, he says we parked it outside of the gate, which made my job much easier. So this way I didn't have to deal with security.
In 1 kilometer, turn right onto 42 Street Southeast.
And when I called the guy, I said, what did you do with the key? He says the key is in the machine. Okay. So I told him I was like 15 minutes away, and he was actually waiting for me. He put like those orange cones around the machine. So yeah, this is the terminal. I see trucks. Trucks are tanker trucks over there loading fuel. Actually, there's two of them. One is a Shell. Yeah, one is Shell and one is Imperial, which is what, I guess Esso? Imperial Oil. Yeah, you see tanker trucks here. Mack, and then the second is Kenworth. Double tankers. Yeah, I stopped to fill up the truck at this petrol pass. Man, all the trucks are so dirty. I guess there's no truck wash nearby anywhere. What do we have here? Manitoba. Manitoba. Wow. Lots of trucks from Manitoba. Okay, what is this guy doing? Try not to hit that B train. This one is from British Columbia. And this Peterbilt here is from, I didn't see. Oh, Alberta. You always know Alberta because it's red. You know, like if it's blue, it's either Ontario or like this Mack over here. It's been standing here for a week. Like it's BC, because BC has a different typeface. Like Cali is very similar to Ontario, but the typeface is different, more kind of like round. Triple XL step deck. Lots of dry vans, lots of reefers. By the way, my Dodge Durango has another booking. Like I had one for the last week in June. Now I have a booking for middle of June, also a week, but the rates are quite good. I'm making a bunch of money. But this guy books and then he starts asking questions. We have a dog. Are you okay with the dog being in the car? And you know, I do Uber Pets, right? So I'm now used to animals, but most of the time they're okay. Like I had people carrying small like cats. They're always in a carrier or like a cage, and so I told this guy, yeah, as long as the dog doesn't make too much mess in there, I'm okay with it. But then I decided to check on the policy. Like I thought maybe, you know, maybe the rental company, since they provide insurance, maybe they don't allow animals. And I searched on their website and it says no animals are allowed. The only requirement is that they must, when they are inside my vehicle, they should be in a crate or carrier. Oh, cool. So I emailed the guy. I said, here's the requirement, and I copied him copied and pasted the requirement from the website. And he says, oh yeah, we are flying in from we'll be flying in from Toronto, and so the dog will be in a crate because that's also required in an airplane. And one cool thing I bought for my Durango, I found it on Amazon. Since that last guy returned it so dirty in the trunk area there, so I found custom floor mats, like rubber all-weather floor mats. They were like 130 bucks Canadian, and they cover the floor and the back of the seats, which, you know, when people fold them down for more space, for more cargo space, so it's gonna be covered. Probably not the entire thing, like not the seats, not the rear of the seats in the second row, but the third row and the trunk will be covered. So they should be delivering today, and I've been checking my phone because I need, after work I'll have to rush home to throw that package inside my apartment before somebody steals it. Oh, and also I ordered a fresh battery for my GoPro, and once that one arrives in a few days, I'm gonna throw out this one that's been giving me trouble. Well, they sent me to pick up the same machine I delivered this morning, so I'll just show you how I change.